Hi everyone, today I'm going to be talking about the Wiccan festival of Litha. Litha is the summer solstice, which is the longest day and the shortest night of the year and occurs somewhere around the 21st of June. The summer solstice is the height of the sun's reign over the year. So the sun is at its highest and you get the most sunlight hours on that day. And then from there we begin to descend into darkness, and this can be seen in the way at this time of the year we have the battle of the Holly King and the Oak King again, like we had at Yule, because midsummer is the exact opposite of Yule. Whereas Yule was the rebirth of the light and light beginning to wax, we now see light beginning to wane down into the darkness of Yule, because nothing is ever static and it keeps moving. So even though the sun's at its height, it must continue to move in a circle. So say the sun's height is there, it can never actually stop. Like you see the sun in the sky, it's never actually stationary. It goes across the sky from the east to set in the west at night, and that's kind of like how the sun moves throughout the year. So at the summer solstice you see it at its height and it's at the brightest, and then it goes down through the rest of the summer into autumn, and then in winter it's at the darkest, and then it comes back up to the highest, and it never stops. Nothing is ever static, everything has a cycle, and the cycle is represented by the battles of the Holly King and the Oak King. Whereas the Oak King was triumphant at Yule and presided over the waxing year, now when they battle, the Holly King will reign and preside over the waning year up until Yule, when they will battle again. And one of the ways to celebrate the midsummer solstice is to get up and watch the sunrise, which in the middle of the summer the sunrise is very, very early, so you have to be really committed to do that. And you've probably heard about people watching the sunrise on the summer solstice at places like Stonehenge and other stone circles, and it's very popular for that reason. And it's thought that Stonehenge was built as a solar temple because the stones align with the rising of the sun on the solstices and equinoxes. And other ways people have celebrated in the past, and perhaps still do today in Britain and in other countries, is the tradition of throwing a flaming wheel or some kind of solar disc symbol down the hillside. Whilst it's not advisable for fire hazards, it was a traditional way of showing the sun's decline, even though the sun was at its peak. The goddess at this time, as we've talked about the god in his aspect of going into the waning year, the goddess at this point is still the mother as she was at Beltane. She now is still the mother, because we see in nature around us, we see fruits on plants and everything, with the impending harvest in late summer and autumn at the next sabbat of Lammas, which is also called Lunasa. And I think that's everything about the summer solstice or Litha. There isn't a heck of a lot to say. If you just think about what was said about Yule and the decline of the sun, this is like kind of the opposite. Because in the way that the sun was at its lowest point at Yule, the sun is now at its highest point at Litha. Another thing about Litha is other traditional ways of celebrating Litha are bonfires and torchlight and things like that to celebrate the summer, and there are many bonfire nights, as it were, throughout the year, and are not just restricted to November the 5th, which we are now so accustomed to being bonfire night. Right, I think that's everything about Midsummer Solstice or Litha. I hope that helps everyone. Blessed be. Bye.